Alright, guys. You hear the birds chirping, hear the campfire. We're out here, and we're recording the episode I told you that I was going to do. I am by myself, so you won't get Melina's reaction to the story I wrote, which really does suck, but I have needed to record this episode way earlier than I'm doing right now. I've been lagging. So I will give you that, and then we will be recording our next episode next week before we stream. Because remember, we stream every Thursday on TikTok at the Campfire Pod. I think it's just Campfire Pod, actually. But yeah, go check that out. If you like games, horror games, go check that out. You can catch us live and talk to us. It's really fun. If you want to share any of your stories to share on the podcast, you can email us at campfirepod23@gmail.com, or you can post on our Reddit, which is Campfire Pod Stories. There we go. Yeah, so you can post on there at Campfire Pod Stories, and we'll take them from there and narrate them on the podcast. We do actually have 2 Reddit stories coming through, and I can't wait to share them with you and the people who let me use them. So, I guess I'm gonna get on to that story for you guys, huh? So this one is called Listen. Okay, I really need you guys to hear what I'm about to tell you. No pauses or skips. If you're hearing this right now, you need to listen all the way through. This is for your safety. You know what a chain letter is, right? Those things we used to get in an email or text that try to scare us into passing it on to someone else. The ones that'll make you mute your superstitious friend because all they do is pass it to you knowing it's too embarrassing to pass on to someone else who thinks they're stupid. Well, if you still don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you're just too young. Don't worry, you weren't missing much. All it is a message in some form that usually says something like blah blah blah. If you get this message, pass it on to 10 people, or your mom's gonna die tomorrow. I always thought they were dumb, never passed them on, and nothing ever happened. But a couple weeks ago, I got an interesting one. I went to the shed, that's where we stream and record for the podcast. I was just in there to tweak some things for the live stream we were gonna do or whatever. But before I do anything, I always check the podcast email for new stories. There's never anything there, but it doesn't hurt to check, you know. I started deleting the unnecessary ones until I seen one labeled as important. I haven't done anything with this email since we've been on a hiatus, so I thought it was kind of weird. Now, I wouldn't have opened it, but the subject said if you're reading, ... The rest was cut off, so I figured someone might have finally sent us a story. I opened it to see 2 sentences, a gap like someone pressed the enter key way too many times, and a paragraph below it. Now let me tell you what the first 2 sentences said. If you're reading this, don't turn around. It doesn't like when you look at it. I know I said before that I don't believe in this stuff, but this felt so different. You know that feeling you get when you know someone's in the room with you? What about when someone's trying to look at your phone over your shoulder, like something sneaky like that? That's what I got the second I finished that sentence. I don't care how fake I thought that email was, there was no way in hell I was turning around. I took a breath and let my eyes drift to the paragraph below. It went something like this. I'm so sorry, Kiara, Melina, whoever manages this email. I didn't want to do this. The email gets weirder at this point. A lot of random letters and characters, so bear with me because this is all I could pull from what was there. Been months. Can't take any more. Tried to end. Won't let me. Share. Live. Sorry. And that was it. I was still way too scared to get up. It's so weird because it felt like someone was breathing down my neck, but I didn't feel like it was gonna try and kill me, if that makes sense. Just to be safe, I got up while looking at the ground and made my way out of the shed. I thought I'd feel safer in broad daylight, you know, but that feeling was still there, just distant, like I was being watched from somewhere else. I thought whoever sent me that email was pretty good. Even though I felt uncomfortable, I was still riding on my disbelief. I mean, despite what it made me feel, nothing actually happened. It was just a good, creepy email. That didn't last long, though. It started with the nightmares. It was almost the same every night. I wake up in my bed, check my phone, it's 1 a.m. I get ready to go back to sleep until something catches my eye. The second I turn my head, dismissing it as just another object in my room, it drops to the floor like it's getting ready to crawl. The second I pull my cover over my head, I wake up, but not before catching a glimpse of its long, demented face and stringy hair leaping towards me. I say almost the same because there was only one difference. Every night, it would be in a different area in my room, but always just a little closer to my bed. Even though it was gone when I woke up, I couldn't help but feel its presence lurking right outside my line of sight. Over the days, I started to wake up with scratches and bruises. Of course, me being the horror fan I am, decided that this was most definitely some kind of demon. As much as I joke around about blaming every creepy-ass thing that happens in this house on demons, there was no way anyone else was gonna believe me if I told them there was a real one and it was attached to me. The last straw is when people started dying. I didn't even notice it at first. Distant cousins, acquaintances, but then it got a little closer to home. It took my siblings, and then my parents. The loneliness, the deaths, the nightmares, I couldn't take it anymore. And this was only weeks. How did the last person survive for months? Despite what the message said, I tried to end it. You know what I mean. I'll spare you the specifics, but all I know is that after I tried, I passed out, and when I woke up, my blankets were soaked in so much blood there's no way I could still be here, and my cuts were healed. This thing wouldn't let me die. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, passing it on would get it away from me, but the damage was already done. I lost everybody. It took me days to come up with the idea I wish I had earlier. I was gonna talk to it. I sat in front of my mirror, put my LED lights in its little candle light mode, and said, "Hey, I know you can hear me. I want to talk." My soul damn near left my body when I seen something behind me. Kind of like a shadow of myself, but demented, leaning kind of to the side, just enough for me to see its face crack a smile. I was actually a little relieved it didn't look like the thing from my nightmares. I'm almost positive that's what it really looks like. I wanted to look away, but I felt like if I did and I were to look back at it, this thing would be right in front of me. And the thought of that was so much worse. I stayed as focused as I could and told it I wanted to make a deal. And that brings us to today. I'm passing it to all of you. Or the other way around, I guess. If you've made it this far, don't bother turning it off. It's too late. One more piece of advice. Do what the email said. Don't turn around. It doesn't like when you look at it. And that's the story, campers. I really wish I saved Melina's reaction because she loved it. And yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. But the next episode I have for you guys coming probably next week is a Reddit user who had posted something on Let's Not Meet. So the story I'm going to read next week is for real. This isn't a fake story. So that should be fun. And like I said, like any of your stories do not have to be fictional. We want nonfiction if we can get it. Like the real stories, those are the ones we really want, but we're definitely down to get fiction as well. So don't be scared. Okay. We will read everyone's stories, I promise you. We are not skipping stories. We're not going to miss anybody. All you got to do is send that email or put it in the Reddit, and we're on it. So, yeah, I know this episode's kind of short, but I had to get this covered because I told you guys I would. And I always do what I say I'm going to do, you know? That's just me. But I hope you liked it. So, yeah, I told you the Reddit. And like I said, we're on TikTok streaming every Thursday at Campfire Pod if you're into that, you know. If you want to check that out, feel free. If you missed the live streams, I'm starting to post the past ones on our YouTube at the Campfire Podcast. So, you know, if you want to catch up on whatever game we're playing. Right now we're playing Visage, and I think we might be on the last chapter. So, yeah, I think we're going to finish that pretty soon. If you guys have any suggestions for, like, any other games, feel free to let us know. I don't know what game I want to do yet. I think I want to go ahead and do Alone in the Dark. That might be a good one, especially because I think it's more active. No, I know it's more active than Visage is, and, you know, she's not familiar with a lot of games, so that's going to be fun to watch her, you know, try to do. But, you know, I'm just dragging this episode out because it's only 16 minutes and it's going to be shorter after I edit it. And I feel bad that it's going to be so short because she's not with me. It's weird. I don't like doing episodes without her because she's the other half of the podcast. But she'll be here. She'll be here next episode. So I'm happy you guys are still listening. Whenever I posted the update, I actually seen that people are still downloading this, which is really cool. We just got new cover art, so I hope you guys like it because it's definitely more personal than the other one. And yeah, we're just excited to be back. So go ahead and listen to those past episodes again while we get new ones ready for you. And we will see you probably next week. Bye, campers.